Don't listen to these people, Ricky. You're a winner. You got the gift. Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
When he is dominating NASCAR.
Woo! First or last, baby!
Hey, what up, fantasy champs and boys? We did it, as you can see. 12-2, first of 10, the 3-time champ. That's back-to-back 2022 and 2023. Let me see if I can go here and show y'all some of the matchups real quick, but then we're gonna break down all the trades I did, how I drafted, kind of what went wrong, what hit. But round 2, we got the dub. Our opponent sat Dak and got us the dub there. And then in the championship, you know, we'll just come back to it. But so basically, here's a full breakdown. We don't want to look down any of here. I know it's kind of big. We're just going to kind of go over kind of what I drafted, what I went through in the beginning, some of the mock drafts I did. So we'll just get into it. I wanted to do the anchor strategy, so I anchored Pollard. Thought he was going to be a superstar. Came out week 1, had 20 points. After that, pretty much busted. Took Jefferson at pick 14. Now we're in a standard league, so it's typically super running back heavy. So he fell all the way to pick 14. I got super lucky, and he was going off essentially. He finished pretty high. I mean, Kirk Cousins getting hurt him, but that round 2, he dropped me 20 points and got me through to the championship round. Third round, I took Diggs. He was okay. Did pretty good all season, but he was kind of meh in the last 5 weeks. I took Andrews here. So like I said, I wanted to anchor one running back, elite receiver, elite tight end, followed up by what I thought would be an elite quarterback since they got the new offensive coordinator and he got some new weapons. He was doing all right. It wasn't bad, but he's just too up and down, and he did get hurt. So after that, I got my 4 skills positions. I needed some running backs. I got Ramondre Stevenson. Got lucky with him there. Thought he would be okay. He was okay. He was more like a flex. I was big on the Cowboys defense. They were number 1 all year. They won me a lot of games. I took them early at like pick 77, I think. And then followed up by that, Khalil Herbert was over here. I really wanted David Montgomery back here, but he got sniped. So this was the best option I could get. I did miss on Brian Robinson here, and I went with Khalil, but he was all right. He was serviceable, but I basically, this was my core team. I didn't want to do all the junk. You know, I did get like Zach Charbonnet and Zeke and stuff back here, but just a lot of junk. I just wanted to show you all the core of kind of what I did in the strategy, anchoring the RB1 and getting the receivers, the tight ends, and the quarterbacks, and the elite defense. So here's where the trading search to begin, to where we start to build the team, because it doesn't really matter how you draft. It's more just about trading. If you become a good trader, then you can pretty much build any team you want. So this was after like week 1 or 2. I think Diggs had a really big week and Lamb didn't do good like the first 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. So I sold Diggs and I got Lamb here. And Lamb still kind of wasn't doing too great until their bye week. That's when he started going off, but this was still early before the bye week. So I took Lamb and I sold him high, and I got AJ Brown and Devon Achane. So I always, if a trade's about to be done, I'll be like, hey, throw this guy in, or hey, throw these 2 guys in. Just 2 little dollar lotto ticket type guys that could scratch off and be 500s. And that's why you see why I got the money bucks here, because this was a money trade for me. I traded Lamb and I got AJ Brown and A-Chain thrown in when he was a nobody. Like, he was a nobody. He was on the bench. He was doing nothing. So then the next week, miraculously, Devon A-Chain dropped like a 40 bomb. And I was like, damn. So I got an extra free trade asset now to turn into more players. So then I sold A-Chain and I got Olave and James Cook. And really how you have to look at this is I sold Lamb to really get AJ Brown, Olave, and James Cook, because I got him thrown in A-Chain and I got these 2 guys with them. So it was kind of like I got all 3 of them for free just for Lamb. So then it's like I created 2 more assets to build my roster with, and that's a key. I did that back in 2019 in week 1, where I traded 1 guy for like 2 studs, and with that I was able to keep flipping and getting an extra piece and an extra piece. So let's keep moving on. So I have James Cook and Olave after I sold A-Chain. I sell James Cook for Kamara. That turned out to be pretty good. The only bad thing was when the Bills switched offensive coordinators, James Cook started going off, they started feeding him. But before that, he was just not getting touchdowns. I just kind of didn't want him. And Alvin Kamara did good. He carried me a lot. He had a lot of good games. He had like a 22 burger. He had a lot of 15-point games. He did good, so I don't mind the trade. Still had Olave for free from that, and Kamara. So this next trade was a huge gamble trade. I didn't want to do it, but I just did it. I just had to get Hurts. He was just doing good. It's 6 points per touchdown in my league. Herbert was doing all right. So this was maybe around like week 4, I think. I traded Andrews and Justin Herbert, and I got big Jalen Hurts. You see the money here, boys, because that was a money trade. Andrews ultimately had a regular season-ending injury. Justin Herbert had a season-ending injury. So both of those guys, I would have been out of them going in the playoffs. I would have had no elite quarterback. Even though I did have C.J. Stroud, you can see here I got him off waiver, but still, I got Hurts and I had Stroud still on my bench because I picked him up. I just had him and stashed him like week 3. So here you can see we got Olave, a good quarterback I got off the waiver and stashed him. Remember, I got Olave thrown in on this trade. And I threw in Stevenson. And I got Lamb back, which is crazy because I used Lamb to get Brown and A-Chain. I used A-Chain to get Olave. I used all these extra little things, and I got him back. So it was technically like I got Olave thrown in the trade for free. I got him, Stroud, off the waiver. And I've had Ramondre, who was kind of busting. The guy I traded him to desperately needed a quarterback, like badly. And so I was like, look, I'll throw Stroud in, just, swap me for Mixon. And this was like right during the bye, I think, or like right at week 7, right before Lamb started popping off. So it was like the perfect buy low, because after they came out of that bye, Lamb just started getting fed. So I do this trade, boom. So remember, I traded Lamb to get A.J. Brown, and now I got Lamb back with A.J. Brown. So that was another money trade, like huge money trade. And then in between those, getting Hurts, like it was just nasty having the stack, So the last trade, it wasn't too great. I had Mixon, and I traded him for Kenneth Walker after I think I threw in like Dak Prescott or something like that, because I didn't want Mixon when Burrow went down, so I was just trying to sell him. I thought the offense would die. It kind of didn't. So, I mean, this was kind of even. I think Mixon was doing a little more consistently than Walker, but, it is what it is. It was kind of a 50-50 trade, but so at the end, the full traded team, I had Hurts at my quarterback. My 2 running backs were Walker and Kamara. I did also have Zamir White and Pollard on the bench. I had Lamb and A.J. Brown as my wide receiver 1 and my wide receiver 2. They were constantly going off every week, pretty much, until the Eagles started dying down. I had Jefferson come back in my flex, which was real strong. He was doing pretty good, getting like 10, 20 points. I had David Njoku, Likely, and Trey McBride. I was kind of adding them and dropping them the last couple of weeks. Because I didn't have Andrews, so I got lucky. I traded for Trey McBride. I think I traded someone like the Falcons defense for him before he blew up, so that trade hit for me, getting Trey McBride. He helped me. He had a couple games where he had like 10, 14, 8, stuff like that. I had added Aubrey week 2, and he finished as the number 1 kicker. And like I said, I had the Cowboys defense. They were number 1 all year. They did really good. At the end of the year, though, I didn't start them just because they had a tough schedule, but they were solid for like the first 9 weeks. Zamir White was a nice add. I added him like, I think week 11, stashed him. Kyler just in case. Charbonnet, handcuffed Walker. But ultimately you can see the buy lows I did, you know, buying low on elite players, you know, buying low on Walker, buying low on Lamb, buying low on AJ Brown, getting Devon A-Chain, a potential star thrown in, buying low on James Cook, buying low on Alvin Kamara. All these things, you just, the key is, I've learned from it, is it's super risky. Like, this trade was the riskiest one, Herbert and Andrews to get Jalen Hurts. It was super risky, but I was just like, man, I need these 30 bombs. I need these 28, 35 point games from Hurts. I can't have these little 13 point games from Justin Herbert. Like, when you have a quarterback that can drop 35 points, it's like having 2-3 quarterbacks in that slot, you know, pretty much 2. But that was the riskiest trade I did. You don't want to do a bunch of these. You maybe want to do, you know, 2 to 3 of them a year, and it could pay off huge, or you could just get screwed, you know, because Andrews was looking really good. Like, he started going off. But, like, you know, buying Lamb low, I didn't know he's literally finished as the #1 receiver, which is crazy. I traded Diggs for him. And the thing is Diggs, he always starts underperforming in the winter. So, like, that was one thing I came into mind. I was like, man, I don't want to have this dude in the championship with blizzard and sleet rain going, you know. Buying low on AJ Brown, that was a huge one. I was just like, man, I know this offense. Like, I know this dude last year was a god, was a beast. So I bought low on him, and, you know, a lot of them hit. So you can see, you know, up here, busted, kind of busted, man. Did good, got hurt. Did good, got hurt, busted. I mean, the draft wasn't great. I'll give it to that. I'm gonna get a little better at drafting, but the trades, I'm probably the best fantasy trader there is. I'd say. I mean, looking at some of these trades, crazy team I built, and, you know, we go into here and we look at the championship right here. It's a 10-year league. I won 2019, 2022, and 2023. So 3 times. Wait, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. Yeah, 3 times in the last 5 years, and I'm back to back. I have about 3,800 in cashings. Here's the matchup, though. I did start Pollard. He busted for me. Was not fun. But, you know, I didn't know. I had Pollard, White, Kamara, and Walker. I should have played Walker, but we still got the dub. You know, here's all the team, all the people I traded for. It's crazy because I sat Kamara. I just, you know, Zamir White with the matchup. Guy I played, he had a stacked team, man. Stacked team, but he did some poor trades. It's crazy because this was the guy that had Lamb and AJ Brown at once, and I got both of them from him. So it might have not been a championship for me. Started Mahomes over Fields. He has Fields on here. Butker with 24. He put in this kicker who got 1. You can't tinker with your roster, boys. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Hope y'all liked the video. We're going to be doing videos all summer, starting up mocks real early. And we're going to kind of figure out a strat going into next year. I think it's going to be like wide receiver, tight end, quarterback type year. And we're just going to stack 8 running backs on the back end. But hope y'all liked the video. Fantasy champs, 12-2, championship. We out.
Don't listen to these people, Ricky. You're a winner. You got the gift. Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.